most holiest places in all of France. This Chartres Cathedral. It was constructed in 1230, the building that we see today, but there has been a church here for many more centuries. And let's light a candle. Is living day by day. What happened in the past or what happens in the future, but enjoying the here and now. Let's walk around Chartres and its old town. So where you are about an hour or so away from Paris via rail. And this is a city called Chartres, and it's one of the most important agricultural centers in all of France. We're in a region that has been very important for agriculture. And let's pop in over here. Now Chartres is famous for its blue because there's a use of a lot of blue stained glass. Now blue was very hard to acquire. Get it usually from lapis lazuli, which was all the way from Southeast Asia, and to be brought over here via trade. The king that built Chartres at that time was King Louis IX, who was the only French king who has become a saint, Saint Louis IX. He was extremely pious man. He led crusades and also did many reforms in the country. And he built two of the most important So if you remember, the other day we visited Sainte-Chapelle, which was the beautiful light-filled chapel. That one did not have as much blue glass as we do here. That one had a lot more reds, oranges. Famous for being in the high Gothic style. Christine, thank you so much for 200 stars. I appreciate you. Wow. centuries, this cathedral is starting to look very dark and gloomy because it wasn't taken care of. It was nearly destroyed by the Prussians back in the 1800s, and then nearly destroyed again by the Germans in World War II. And then also the Americans thought that this was being used by the enemy as a point to shoot artillery, and they were also going to destroy it in order to, protect the people of France. But they decided against it, and luckily they found out that no, it was not being used by the enemy. Anyone have anything to confess? Come on. I'll do it for you. Various different ways. Wow. Look at that. My respects to the people who are mourning the loss of someone. If you see me and hear me. So right here, we're in this. Not been restored yet, so this has 1900s and 1800s difference. This is what happens when you restore from that to that. Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York. Jade, thank you so much for 500 stars. Here we can see more of the different side by side.
Ces adieux se font en deux étapes. La bénédiction du corps, qui rappelle son baptême, et ensuite l'encensement de celui-ci, en signe de respect, pour que nos prières puissent monter vers Dieu. Conséquence. Recueillons-nous dans l'espérance de la gloire du jour dans l'Écriture. Recueillons-nous en pensant ce qui a conduit à ce qu'elle est conduite. Et demandons au Seigneur de se cueillir sur le seuil pour l'accueillir dans sa main. Nous chantons ensemble sur le seuil de sa main.
Right here on the floor is a huge labyrinth. So what you do is walk it all around. It's meant to be a practice of mindfulness, in essence, and ode to sacred geometry. so I couldn't face the camera down the nave, down the transept, because they don't allow filming during the mass officially. So I couldn't face the camera one last time. But you got essence, and it is gorgeous inside, really, really gorgeous. But the cool thing, I think, with this Cathedral of Chartres is the front. Have the mismatched spires, which I think it looks so cool. And there's a lot of tourists here. It's a lot of tour groups. There's a funeral going on. Camilla says, you're super elegant today. Oh, thank you so much, Camilla. It is cold today, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not pack a jacket with me. I think I might need to buy a jacket, especially for my next destination. Cynthia says, interesting that they're mismatched. So actually the architecture itself is mismatched. So on one side of the cathedral we have Gothic. On the other side we have Romanesque. So let me know. So we're facing different spires, and why are they? Because a terrible fire consumed Chartres in the middle of the 1100s, and that fire destroyed one of the churches that was here, the main cathedral that was here, and they decided to rebuild. But they end up using parts of the old cathedral, so that's why, unlike most Gothic cathedrals, they have gigantic in New York. It's a massive entrance. This one's a tiny little entrance right here. Tiny, tiny little entrance. Cynthia says, he could not decide. No, it's just that they reused the older part of the cathedral. So one spire was built first. Probably around the 1200s, mid-1200s. Then this one was built. But the entire thing, most of it was built by the mid-1200s. And we see gargoyles up there as well. Actual functional gargoyles that spout water whenever it rains too much, so water doesn't accumulate on top of the structure. Jorge says, great job, I love Chartres. Oh, I'm so glad you do. So it costs €33 to come here round trip. George, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope all is well. Hello, Andrew. There's a little like mini tram right here. 35 minutes. Oh, and they have a night tour. That's interesting. Yeah, 45 minutes. Bruzy says, where am I in Europe? I am in Chartres, France. I'll show you how the name is spelled because it's a bit hard to pronounce in the proper French accent, but there it is. And the next one is at 15:45. So let me show you the reliefs up here. Yeah, yeah, compared to America, it's not a bad price. In England, it will also be a more expensive to travel this distance. So these are telling a story. There's a few interpretations, but the one I like the most is that Jesus Christ, before incarnating into a human body, so we see angels over here, angels right beside him, probably, according to that interpretation, are prophets. And these prophets, you can see that some of them don't really notice, but others are looking kind of up. One's coming. And then this one we have Jesus Christ. Images of him, but this one's very interesting. This one is a child Christ sitting upon the throne of wisdom, and that throne of wisdom is actually the Virgin Mary. So he's using the Virgin Mary as a throne. In essence, is because he signifies wisdom, and the Virgin Mary, in essence, is the bearer of wisdom or the mother of wisdom. And this also highlights why this church was so important during pilgrimages for the 1200s, 1300s, and beyond, was because this had apparently the very tunic that the Virgin Mary wore when she conceived. When she gave birth to Jesus. Justine says, in honor of your trip to Paris, I made a beef bourguignon. That's awesome. Oh my God, it was good. I used Julia Child's recipe. That's awesome. Cathedral from this perspective, looking up, and a bird. Perfect. Let's go on the side. Bells here, for some reason, ring at the half hour. I'm woken up every single day because a church nearby me rings bells at 8:30 a.m. for some reason. Hey, toilet brush salesman, nice to see you here. Welcome. So these pigeons are gorgeous. There's some beautiful pigeons here in France. Let me know, anyone who's a bird expert. Do they have a name? Cynthia says, I think the pronunciation is Chartres. Yeah, soft R, yeah. It's a bit of a tongue twister for an English speaker. So Susie earlier said, I want to see some flying buttresses. Well, here they are. Flying buttresses. This is what holds up the actual structure, and that's why they can build gigantic windows in the first place. Andrew says, that's Bob. No, that's not Bob. That's Monsieur Pierre Le Pigeon de Paris. That's his name. Kay says they're called wood pigeons. Oh, thank you so much, Kay. It's a quiet town. I think there's only about 38,000 people who live here. But the region itself is quite important, as I mentioned earlier. Still is for agriculture. Wendy says, is Earl there? No, nor his cousins. I haven't seen a squirrel at all my entire trip. Now this one's stunning. Oh my God. This is the other entrance. Look at that. Wow. With a huge rose window. And this very Gothic style. Andrew says, how long are the bells going to ring? They ring for quite a while. I'm not entirely sure exactly how long, but for quite a while. Susie says it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yeah, it is, yeah. Huh. Any further? Let's check out the back. So, we're going to see the back of the cathedral. Let's see. And then we're going to go through the old town. Wendy says, the lucky feather, it means a message. Ooh, I like that. This is Chapelle San Papiat. The last T is usually dropped in French. Wow, look at that chalice. Wendy, how far away am I from Paris? 1 hour, a little bit longer than a 1 hour train ride. Depends if you go express or local. You take the rail from Montparnasse. And this park is closed. This park would have had a cool view. Yeah, you can see the view of the hill. And I think we're right by the river as well. Hello, Irene. Nice to see you here. I wonder what creepy stuff all this is built on. If only the ground could talk. Andrew says, so Andrew, yeah, let me drink some water. I'm very thirsty. Oof. Something about the air in France makes me extremely thirsty. Let me know if that ever happens to you. Have you ever gone to a place and felt more thirsty than usual? So Andrew says, I wonder what creepy stuff is underneath. You know what? I don't think there's that much creepy stuff. I feel good energy here, just like intuitively. But beyond that, this place has been mostly associated with good, positive things for most of its history. It's an agricultural hub right next door. This has been a town that has been a holy center for generations, and apparently even dating back to the druids, who would have access to an underground spring, and that spring to them was regarded as something mystical. And apparently that spring, I don't know this for sure, but apparently that spring is still underneath this cathedral. And that's very interesting, because a lot of cathedrals all around the world are built upon what used to be pagan centers. So they continue that mystical tradition just in another way. So here in Chartres, we have what used to be an ancient druid spring, a place where they did some druidic rituals, similar to Glastonbury, which I've shown before, another place of druid activity. And then in Mexico, which was the center of Mexico City, where there was ancient Aztec rituals. That one was much darker, definitely, because they did a lot more crazier stuff. And then places all around the world just have a lot of cathedrals built on what used to be these ancient pagan sites. It's very fascinating. Aim says, what about the tailoring of that jacket? Hey, thank you so much. This is not a proper tailored jacket. This is a sweater. It's very soft. It looks like a jacket, which is cool, but it's a soft, nice sweater. I like it. Yeah. It's made by a company in New York called Alex Mill, but interestingly enough, that company all their line is directly inspired by French workwear. So this style looks very French. It is very French. I want to walk through here. I don't see any. Oh, this is a private area, so let me just show it from the outside. Wendy says it suits you well. Oh, I'm glad. Oh, there's a lot of feathers flying above. Bonjour.
Ah pardon, on aurait peut-être pas dû parler.
No,
Problème.
no problem, no problem. Well, hey, thank you everyone for the compliments on the jacket. I appreciate that. Thank you. Can any French speakers let me know how to say no problem, no worries in French? I was trying to learn it. I couldn't get a straight answer from Google. So let me know, what's the more common, more French way of saying no problem, no worries? And Andrew says it looks like a school. Yeah, I think yes. So this area, a lot of these buildings used to be part of the old university that was attached to the cathedral, until the University of Paris ended up getting more famous. And I think it went out, or maybe still going on. That I'm not sure. Hey Reese says, I'm digging the sweater. Thank you so much, hey Reese. Pas de problème. Pas de problème. Pas de problème. Or pasui? Pasuis? Do let me know how to pronounce that. Neten farpas. Neten farpas. Now these buildings must be very old. Pasuis. Pasusi, says Camilla. There you go, the typical French jacket. It's everywhere. Every Frenchman of all ages wears that blue jacket. I'm very tempted to buy one, even though it's gonna be hot July soon. So one of the original architects for the cathedral back in the 1100s was Fulbert, right here. Mark says, you should offer us a clothing line representing the places you have taken us. Yeah, you know, some cities, some cultures have a very unique style. France is definitely one of them. Peggy says, are there cute little shops? Yeah, let's go into the town area now. Ooh, it's windy today. Postcard, says Ron. Oh, yes. There's already postcards in my bag. Postcards. If you want to become a mega urbanist, on YouTube, pressing that join button and choosing the $20 option or above, or going to patreon.com/urbanist and selecting Mega Urbanist. And here you'll get access to postcards from a destination per month. David says I should do a Staten Island line of clothes. What, a Yankees cap and some Nikes? And a white tee? white tank top? Look at this cool store.
Da ist eine bunte Pinkpappe. Ist das dieser Laden? Oh. Gut. Welcher Laden?
Is that Degas? Degas ballet? Do let me know who made the ballet statues. Wendy says, I send such lovely postcards. Yeah, I do. Oh, thank you so much, Wendy. I'm so happy you enjoy them. Oh, I love these. Tintin. Oh my God. Tintin, famous Belgian comic. And this is the main character. Steven Spielberg also made a movie that was really good in my opinion. It was beautiful graphic novels. You should just buy the book and just look at the pictures. Gorgeously drawn. Oh, look at that beautiful poster. Ooh. Wow. Justine says, is this a vintage store? Yeah, it's a vintage store. A vintage knick-knack store. Person was smiling. Macrina says, on all your videos, there's not that many people walking. You know, that's a good question. Paris does not have the same hustle and bustle as New York, but Paris population is only 2 million. So there's a lot more to Paris beyond the city limits. So Paris in general is a smaller city. So that might be one of the main reasons. And it's not going to have the same hustle bustle as London as well, because London is also a much bigger city, 8 million people as opposed to 2. The reason why there's little people walking here, I'm not entirely sure, but it's only 33,000 residents in the Chartres proper. So basically any city with this amount of population in Europe is going to look like this, unless if it's peak weekend time or there's some type of major tourist event or some type of sporting event. So just like I showed Kilkenny, Ireland, that had a population of 26,000, it was more lively in the week. I think it's still kind of work hours. So Hale says, where's Chartres? Chartres is in France, an hour away. Here's a beautiful boulanger. Look at this. Artisan boulanger. Macrina says, oh, I didn't realize that. All right, who wants to try? Croissant. C'est bon. Cards. Merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, bonne journée. So let's grab some croissants. What I said at the end was au revoir, bye, and bonne journée means have a good day, have a nice day. So there's a lot of different pastries to try. I'm gonna try others a little bit later, but let's go for a classic croissant and a pastel de nata, which is interesting. It's a Portuguese treat, and they're selling it here. And they also had flan, but the French flan is very different. French flan tastes more like bread pudding, or like bread pudding cake than it does the Spanish kind, or the Latin American kind. So I don't know what this used to be, but it strikes me as used to being a market. It's a 1,001. Look at that. Look at that. A little nub of a croissant. So beautiful. I really like it. Dia says it looks like a train station. Yeah, it does. It has similar architecture, but usually when you see these canopies, they mean that they're markets. This is really good. Is it translucent? Let's put it to the test. Let's see. Let's find the sun. There we go. We got the sun. All right. Step 1, find the sun. Step 2, place the croissant. No. Doesn't pass the test. Nope. That's why it's a bit denser. It doesn't pass the test. Unfortunately not. If the croissant was translucent, then it would be like top croissant. It's on another level of soft fluffiness. But it's still good. It's still good. It's still place over here. I had right before starting the video. Le comptoir de Sarah. They had an amazing scone that just blew me away with some eggs and salmon. Let me pop up the photo right over here. So eggs, salmon, coffee, a scone, which was really good, some Americano. Dia says, oh my God, the sun's out. Yes, the sun is indeed out. Watch out for a pigeon, it'll grab it. Yep, it might. So it has a kind of a more of a more of a grainier texture to it. I wonder what type of flour that they're using. You can see it's yellow. They're using some interesting flour. I don't think it might be that fresh. This might be many hours old. Let's try the pastel de nata. So this, usually it's a Portuguese treat. Of course, they sell in a lot of Portuguese countries, like, or what used to be former territories, Brazil, Macau, and China. Let's try this out. This is also known as an egg tart. That's really good. It's very soft, great layers, and it has that beautiful egg custard to it. This is a really good one. It's more simpler, more kind of smaller than you would have in the Chinese kind or the Portuguese kind, which tend to be even more custard. But I kind of like it. It's nice for a snack. Justine says that tart is nice. Oh yeah. This is a nice tart. This might be a nice tart, but please, if English is not your first language, you can call the pastry a nice tart, but don't call a random individual a nice tart, especially a woman. I'm not sure if that. I think UK and US share that slang. C'est magnifique. Wow. That was really good. Try the nata from that boulanger. Ron says, be honest, you miss grasshopper in Mexico. Who wouldn't, Ron? Who would not miss? Now, I gotta say, Mexico did have some great pastries. That was another good pastry city. Wow. Ancient? From 1792. Alexander says the pastel de nata that you tried looked very thin compared to the ones in Portugal. Yeah, it was pretty thin. Makrina says I would gain 10 pounds in Paris. Oh yeah. So Makrina and a lot of people, you'll actually be surprised with the quality of food in Paris. If you're American or Canadian, you probably would think you would gain weight, but you might be surprised. I see so many Parisians eating their croissants in the morning or more, and they're definitely always buying desserts. from what I've seen in the cafes, they're not big. And I think the reason for that is because the quality is so good. It's good butter, it's good flour, it's good ingredients overall. So I don't think you would gain too much weight, if at all. It might lose it because of all the walking. So it's also a different lifestyle from America, where you're mostly not doing as much walking as you're doing here as well. Now, if you're from Europe, then yes, you'll gain a lot of weight. Wendy said, do you like your croissant warm? I do prefer them warm. It's rare to find them warm unless if you go early in the morning or right when they finish a bake. A coffee roaster.
Oh yeah,
Who wants to try this coffee roaster? So brûlerie de café means coffee roaster. Les Ross Magis. Does that mean mage? Warlock? Excusez-moi.
Oui, je vais apprendre.
Do you want sugar?
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Most places, you could just order yourself a coffee and have it to stay. It's no worries. It's not like the U.S. where usually if you're staying, they want you to order more. And brûleries are roasteries, so they were roasting their own coffee, and it smelled beautifully like coffee inside. So let's try this out. Oh, ooh, that smells good. Oh, that's hot. It's a lot of hot water. Yeah, I'll let this cool down a little bit. But it's really good. It smells amazing. Ooh, that's so. I think all you have to do with this coffee is just sniff it. You don't even need to drink it to get the effect. Ooh, that's amazing. Oh my God, as the French like to say. That's very stereotypical. The French don't say that. At least I have not heard a French person say that yet. Oh, look at this. Dia says, have you been disappointed by any coffee in Paris? You know, I lower my expectations because I knew the coffee in Paris generally is not that good, especially if you're used to really good coffee in the US or in Italy. So yes, I've had plenty of coffee that's actually not that good. I've had so far a few that are pretty terrible. Nothing that has made me, only one that has made me want to throw it out, and that was in the train station. Nothing, not that many terrible ones. In the US, you can find way more terrible coffee than you do in general in Paris. But also in the US, you find amazing coffee. So, US, like always, is a country of spectrums. From the top to the very worst, you get everything in the US, especially in New York. Poissonnière, ooh, poisson. Ooh, a fishery. We got a lot of Italian epicures, which is like a provision shop. Basically like and cold cuts, which I wonder why some people are saying that no sound is coming through. Let me know if you hear me. So, usually the actual cold cuts and food that you can get is very fresh. Artisanal chocolatier. Artisanal chocolatier. Tourists going to be a top Catholic. A lot of people are flocking over here. I guess they tend to stay in Mont Saint Michel, which is more famous for being a religious structure. I have to mute. There's popular music playing. Okay, I moved away from the music. So now here is more lively. There's a lot more people out and about here. Undone Sum says all you need is 3 heavyweight artists to sit down, sip coffee, and discuss your Chartres-based scripts. That would be very, very French. Sit down at a cafe with other artists discussing art. And it's funny that you mentioned that because here we have a mural of a Hollywood set. Oh, that's so interesting. That is a great coincidence. I love that. Someone earlier asked, do I ever get very lost? Have I ever gotten significantly lost? Not really. Not significantly lost. Hard to get. It's not too hard to find your way around in these small towns. Generally, you can see a huge cathedral in the distance and kind of find your way. Christine says, "Where are you?" I'm in the town of in the city of Chartres, but as to exactly where, I don't know. I'm just wandering around. No particular direction. So it seems that they're filming a period piece right over here. Toilet brush salesman, can you feel the different change of pace? Yes, I can, yeah. It's much more quieter, much more calmer, much more relaxed. Is there a hair salon? Yes, they're called Gorfiru? I don't know how to pronounce it. But they're pronounced interestingly. Where in France are we? Right here. Here's long lost relative. There's a pirate around the corner. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I found my long lost pirate descendant. Pirata Cofresi. All right, so let me drink the rest of this coffee. Feel free to ask me anything as I'm drinking the rest of this coffee. This is not very French. French would not take a coffee to go, but luckily nowadays you can really ask coffee to go almost everywhere. But when it comes to taking food to go, that's a bit more rare, especially if it's a sit-down place. You don't see too much food to go yet. This coffee is almost. It's very thick as well. There's a lot of, how do I call it, particles? Oh, it has a different name. Grounds. Andy asks, what's the square root of 81? It's 9, Andy. 9. Hey, Miss Lob, nice to see you here. Welcome. And that's why you don't see trash. I mean, there's barely any trash, yeah. Macrina says sediment. Sediment would be probably in a different language. In English, that's not really used, but I know what you mean. Any accordionist around, says Max. No, I have not seen anyone play the accordion yet. I've only seen trumpet outdoors once, and that's it. No accordionists. Is there a difference in internal design of homes in Paris as opposed to the US? Asked Perry. That's a good question. So, in Paris, this is Chartres, so this is a different area, but in Paris, kitchens tend to be smaller. They are not as important or as prominently placed as they are in American homes or apartments. Of course, New York is a city that you have a wide variety of designs. But in Paris, generally, there's very low importance in the kitchen. And the refrigerators tends to be even smaller. So there's not these big mega refrigerators that we have even in the smallest New York apartments. Miss Lob says extra crunchy. Do you use Google Maps when you go away to France? Yeah, I use Google Maps. I use it on my phone. Now, when I do these live videos, I barely use Google Maps. I do have a second phone with data, a local SIM card as well here. But I only have this for emergencies. Sometimes I may go to a place where there's not that much trains passing through, and then I really do have to pay attention, A, to the time, and B, to where I'm walking. That happened to me in the UK. Sometimes I was walking too far away from the train, and then I would miss the train and I had to wait for like an hour or 2 hours. What made you pick this town, says Wendy? The cathedral. I really wanted to visit the cathedral. Do you take the metro to this area? Not metro, rail, which is called the TER. I'm not sure what the official name is. On Google Maps, it says TER. So I think it means regional rail. That's probably what it means. Regional trains. Miss Lob says it's old and has a cathedral. Yep, that's why I picked it. Do they have 2 faucets in the bathroom? I've only seen 1 faucet most of the time. And the toilets don't have a flush handle, they have a button. And it's fresh weather. Yeah, the air here is cleaner than in Paris. Paris, the air can get rather polluted. You know, you feel it at the end of the day. Your face feels dirty at the end of the day being in Paris. There's a lot of pollution. Like similar to New York. Toilet brush salesman says these bits might be called coffee chaff. Chaff? I haven't heard that word. What does it mean? Is that a UK slang? Wendy says, I don't like wearing my watch. Yeah, you don't need to wear a watch. Do toilets have bidets? You know, I have not seen a bidet. I thought I would see bidets. I have not seen bidet. I don't have a bidet. Yeah, that's a good question, Ron. Do they have French press coffee? I think French press coffee is mostly for the home. I've only seen very few places where they offer it on their menu. But I think French press is mostly a home way to brew coffee. People are not brewing drip or making, I don't think the French are really making too much instant coffee, especially if they're younger. I think they're doing French press. I don't think it's that popular to have an espresso machine like it is now in certain parts of the US if you can afford it. All right, let's continue walking around. What is the plan for lunch? Ooh, I'm pretty full with those pastries. I already had lunch too, right before the broadcast. Hello, England. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Here's the Ville de Chartres. Chartres Métropole. What does Métropole mean? Police department? Is very beautiful. Wendy says, do they have Greg's? No, no Greg's here, no. I think the only British chain I've seen is Pret a Manger. Only British chain I've seen thus far. Ironically, it's the British chain that has a French name. Let's check out these guys. Justine says this town is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at the floor. It's pristine for such a, I mean, for any type of city. It's pristine. Look at this floor. These rocks, I assume, would get a lot more grimier throughout the years. But it looks like they were just put here just a few years ago. Were those statues terracotta? Oh, I don't know. It did not look, it looked more like a clay with some type of metal, maybe bronze. Though I'm guessing. So here's the hairstylist. A lot of people were asking, is there hair salons? Yeah, there is. There's a lot of hair salons in Paris, and now I've coming here, I've seen a lot. Laura dice, saludos desde Ciudad de México, bienvenidos, gracias por compartir la transmisión, mi placer, gracias por viendo esta transmisión desde Ciudad de México. Hay parte de París que me recuerda mucho de la Ciudad de México. There's parts of Paris that really remind me a lot of Mexico City. So thank you so much for tuning in. Paris asks, what do you not like about Paris? You know, there's very few things, if at all, to not like about Paris. I pretty much love it. It's an amazing city. Let's walk back this way. There seems to be a cool street this way. Kay says, the first thing I do when I get somewhere is to find a hairdresser. Nice, Kay. I know you have one in New York. That's cool that you have one in each city. Ooh. What is this building? It's integrated to the new Métropole. Wow. Macrina asks, how much is gasoline in Paris? Oh, I don't know. I've not paid attention. I don't think I've even passed a gasoline station my entire time in Paris. Will you live in Paris? I would, yeah. Greg says the scammers around the Eiffel Tower are annoying. Yes, don't dress like a tourist. That's the easiest way I can put it. You know, if you want to minimize that, the way to minimize it is to not dress obviously like you're from the US or Canada or wherever you're from. Usually Americans do tend to stick out. Americans stick out, Chinese stick out here. There's a few other cultures where you'll definitely stick out due to the way one usually dresses in those respective countries. Christine sent 500 stars. Thank you so much, Christine, for the 500 stars. Andy says, I dress like I'm going to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, beach wear is not popular in Paris. So if you're wearing beach wear, if you're wearing beach shorts, flip-flops in Paris, you're going to stick out as a tourist and the scammers will target you. And also they will, pickpockets will target you as well. Oh, here it is. This is the other landmark. Let's see how we can get it. It's a cool stairway down here. Let's peek. Pari says, let's go to the beach. I usually don't do that type of content. Oh, cool street art. Someone earlier asked, is this city too quiet? Oh my God. Is that one of the hungry ghosts from, not the hungry ghosts. This is the little ghost from My Neighbor Totoro, if I recall correctly. That's so interesting. It's just a tiny little one. They're like spirits in that movie made by Miyazaki. It's an animation film from Japan. Is that Banksy? I don't know. It doesn't have his tag, but it could be a Banksy. It does look like his style. Ooh. Look at this one. I love this one. This one looks like it's in lace. It's done so well. Wow. And look at this charming street. SJ says, I'm so enjoying this live. Oh, I'm so glad. Let me know if you're enjoying this live. Yeah, this town is quieter. I thought it was going to be a little bit more vibrant, but it is a Thursday during the day. Hi, how's it going? How do I say how's it going in French? Do let me know, aside from bonjour. But yeah, but it's nice to walk around these places. Sometimes you don't always need to go to the places with hustle and bustle. It's cool to go to a place to me that's a little bit quieter, especially with cool architecture like this and good food. ¿Cómo ça va? Oh, thank you so much. ¿Cómo ça va? Pari. Wow. Class says it translates to "bone what's up." I don't think "what's up" is known in French. While American culture has seeped into French culture, I don't think it has seeped that much. Wow. Paris, Notre-Dame de Chartres, Saint-Agnan, Saint Agnes? Let me know what that translates to. What does that mean? SJ says, thanks to your live from Mexico City, I met Monica who showed us around La Loma. Oh, that's so cool. You met up with Monica. Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to bear with me. How does that look? I love that church smell. It's kind of a mustiness. Ooh. No incense here, but the kind of wood mustiness. Amazing. No sound. Vince, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. comfortable being on this. It's so uncomfortable. That hurt. Oh, that hurts the knees. Oh my God. Ooh. Talk about penance. Wow, so it says be careful of falling rocks. It's unstable. Oh no. Jesus is my homie. The namesake of this church. Sylvia, is this a Catholic church? Yeah, it is. Oh. Oof, the cushion is dead. So that's penance for the calves. But it's nice. I like this. It feels very old style. Feels like I'm hanging out at my grandmother's house. It's kind of cool, just sitting here. I give this holy seat no bird poo. It's nice. It is in the holy area. There's no cushion, so it is a place to contemplate the pains of sitting here for too long. But it is comfy enough to sit for like 10 minutes. And this is a gorgeous church. I'll give this a good, because of the space, this ends up getting a very holy 7.7 out of 10. That was magical. What is the name, says Sylvia? Saint Agnin? Saint Agnin. Part of the parish of the Cathedral of Notre Dame of Chartres. So Chartres, where we visited first, the full name of the cathedral, at least used to be the Cathedral of Notre Dame of Chartres. So this is a part of the same parish. The hotel. Hotel de la Calle. Calle. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce this in French. No. Mansion Gothic of the 14th century. Wow. Miss Lob says it's pronounced Chartres. Yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Try saying that for an hour and a half broadcast. Oh, look at this. There's an inner courtyard. Miss Lob says the French S's are almost always silent. Yes, indeed. Yeah, we're back to the cafe that we visited earlier. Hyde says a lesson in aesthetics. Oh, yes. This restaurant, La Costa. Epicure, so another provision shop, not a restaurant. Sometimes they're a combination. So here they have like, oh, there's like a food tour inside there. Excuse me. Oh, this is a painting by, the guy's name is Chirico? Chirico, I think it's pronounced. Macrina says it looks like the streets of Old San Juan. Yes, it does, yeah. As well. There's bed service here. Wow. Beautiful. The old town. Where's Lyon? It says, and we're much farther away. Lyon is much farther away. So I think we've seen a good portion of the old town. I hope you enjoyed this tour of Chartres. It's a beautiful town. I think if you're into architecture or Catholic history, then it might be worth visiting the cathedral. The cathedral is beautiful. I would not say it's the most beautiful. More cathedrals that have blown me away you've ever been to. That other church, St. Agnin, wow, that one really kind of, I don't know, blew me away in a different way. So I'm gonna now continue exploring a little bit more, check out the shops. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. One more time, let's take a peek at the Cathedral of Chartres. Here, What footwear are you walking? Says Shields. It's a bit squeaky, these Converses, but I'm wearing Converse mids right there. One more time. The Cathedral of Chartres from the 1200s. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a great day everyone. Au revoir mes amis. A bientôt.